Tonight's Midnight Special brought to you by Chevrolet. Chevrolet, building a better way to see the USA. And now, ladies and gentlemen, your host this morning, Lou Rawls.
Thank you. Thank you very much, and good morning. Welcome to the Midnight Special. We got some very special folks that have stopped by to join me this morning. We got Brewer and Shipley. We got George Burns, the committee. How about the grassroots? Yeah. Honeycomb, baby. Yes, sir. And we got the OJs and Eric Weissberg and Deliverance. If that's not enough to keep you up, then what you got going at home is a lot better than this, baby. So you go on and get it on. As soon as this is over, I'll be by and join you, you dig? All right. You know, there was a time that if someone told you to do something, you did it. Bam, right on. And there were no questions asked either. It was yes, sir, and yes, ma'am. You never said no. Oh, but things are changing, folks. Because it's a new day, a brand new day. And folks now want to take their lives into their own hands and make their own choices. No longer do they want to go along with the program because everybody else says right, you know what I mean? Folks just want to do their own thing now, you know. Different stroke for different folk. I'm going to tell you what I'm talking about. You can dig it. Now, I don't want no gold watch for working 50 years from 9 to 5. While the boss is guzzling champagne and I'm building beer in some dive. I want to be happy and free, living and loving for me. I want to be happy and free, living and loving for me like a natural man. A natural man. Well, I refuse to listen to people saying that I live too high. And I wanna taste it now before my one life streaks on by. And I want to be happy and free, living and loving for me. I want to be happy and free, living and loving for me just like a natural man. A natural man. Well, I've tried to do what others said that I should do. They said that I should fit in, fool them, fake it well. But those kind of dudes just make me crazy and blue. Oh no, I just can't take it. So when you see me walking, won't you notice that proud look in my eyes? My feet are on the ground and my soul is searching for the sky, because I want to be happy and free, living and loving for me. I want to be happy and free, living and loving for me just like a natural man. A natural man. Like a natural man. My feet are on the ground. My soul is searching for the sky. Like a natural man. Just like a natural man. Wow. Thank you. Thank you very much. My first guests are old friends, and they have another big hit going for them called The Love Train, you dig? But before we hear that one, we're going to go back and get a little solid gold oldies, you know what I mean? Put a little soul in the bowl with the OJs and Backstabbers.
backstabbers. All you fellas who got some more and you really care, yeah, yeah. So fellas who better beware, yeah, yeah. Somebody's out to get your lady. A few of your buddies, they sure look shady. Plays alone, but kind of their fist, aiming straight at your back, and I don't think they'll miss. What they do? They smiling in your face all the time. Don't wanna take your place. The backstabbers. I keep getting all these visits from my friends. Yeah, what they doing to me? They come to my house again and again and again and again. Yeah. So all they dare to see my woman. I don't even be home, but they just keep on coming. What can I do to get on the right track? I wish they'd take some of these lines out my bag. What they doing? They smiling in your face all the time. Don't wanna take your place. The backstabbers. Low down, dirty. What they do? They smiling in your face. Smiling faces, sometimes tell us. Lying on me, low down, dirty eyes. Stand there, might be your neighbor, your next door neighbor, yeah, yeah. Might.
You know, on several occasions, the Midnight Special has shown a film clip from the movie Deliverance, featuring the hit song Dueling Banjos, you know? Yeah. And now the fellow who performed that original soundtrack will be our next guest. How's about a heavy welcome for Eric Weissberg and Deliverance?
Hey, ho!
It's late. I'm a little worried. I wonder where he is.
Look, I called the senior citizens home. They said he's on his way.
Great.
I better listen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are the presents all hidden?
And the
mine's
cake looks fantastic.
Great. He's really going to be excited.
Big thrill, huh?
Here he comes! Hi! Get the lights.
I'll get the light.
Surprise!
The committee.
Look, what am I supposed to do with 30 square yards of acoustical tile? Anyone home?
Hi, Mark.
Hi, how are you, George?
Fine.
Hi, Marcia, how are you?
Okay.
Wonderful. Listen, it's a beautiful day. Why don't we go to the park, get some horses, and go riding?
That sounds terrific. I would love to.
Sounds kind of to me.
Well, we'll go riding, then we'll get some beers.
Beer?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, man, I could really use a couple of cold beers. I'll go.
Great.
No,
Why not, Marcia?
because some people get really big pot bellies when they drink beer.
I think you look fine.
I wasn't talking about myself.
Oh.
Look, tell her I don't want to go horseback riding, because some people I know get fat bottoms riding horses.
I'm sure she heard.
Tell her.
Would you tell him that if I ever got out for things like horseback riding, I wouldn't have to worry about my figure?
If you exercised her more often, she wouldn't get so large around the hips.
Look, I work 40 or 50 hours a week, so I'm going to spend my weekends the way I want.
Look, he works really hard all week long. If he wants to put up his feet and drink beer on the weekend, he can, and no one tells him any different, see?
Oh, yeah? Well, you'd work pretty hard, too, if you'd ever gotten a load of his secretary. She is something.
Oh, come off it. Look, my secretary's as old as your mother. There's nothing going on there.
His secretary's 50 years old. They keep her locked in the closet.
50 years old, my eye. She is 50 inches right here. You tell him I never knew he liked women with big breasts.
I didn't know you liked big gazongas.
I don't. That's why I married someone that's flat.
He likes you just the way you are.
Oh. Well, that was a very big remark for a very small person.
I pass.
Look, tell Mary Marvel if she could ever turn me on, she might see a big guy.
You know, you really look terrible. Why don't you get some new clothes, huh?
Because he hasn't given me money for new clothes in 3 years.
If you're working 40, 50 hours a week, how come she don't look better?
Because I'm spending all my money on her traffic accidents.
Why don't you learn to drive? You're a menace to society.
If he'd send me to an optometrist, I'd be able to see where I was going.
For crying out loud, she's blind, man.
Well, if she'd talk to me once in a while, maybe I'd know what's wrong with her.
Just because you're blind doesn't mean to say you're dumb. He's not deaf. Why don't you talk to him?
You don't have to shout at me. I want to talk to him. But there's more to a relationship than just talking. There's touching. A woman needs to be touched. Not all the time, just now and then. You know what I mean? Just occasionally.
She's a woman. She's your wife. She needs love and understanding, and she needs to be touched, too. I know it's hard.
I don't know, man. Maybe I've been working too much. We're not communicating anymore. I've probably been treating her too hard.
Probably.
Look, give her this for me, will you?
What did he say?
He said to give you this.
Did he say that? Oh. Would you tell him?
You know, in a music industry filled with overnight chart busters and one-hit artists, the grassroots are certainly not a fluke. Fluke? They've been together since 1966, and they've had a steady stream of hits, too, you know? Yeah, they have. Ladies and gentlemen, a big soulful round of applause for the grassroots.
Midnight.
Honeycomb is a group that has taken the idea of a female singing trio and expanded it into a totally new dimension. And they're pretty, too. Here's Honeycomb. Thank you, Honeycomb. Hey, did you know that the Midnight Special's two biggest fans are Wilt Chamberlain and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? Well, they're pretty big dudes. I mean, you know, they can't knock that. We'll be back with the OJs, Brewer and Shipley, the Grassroots, and more, right after this station identification. Let the Midnight Special shine its ever-loving light on you.
Boy, hand me down my walking cane. I want you to hand me down my walking cane. You hand me down my walking cane, and I'm gonna take me a stroll down memory lane. Now, boy, you hand me down my walking cane. I want you to hand me down my walking cane. You hand me down my walking cane. And I'm gonna take me a stroll down memory lane. Down memory lane. Memory lane. Yeah.
As the old man took his walk, this particular day he passed an area where there were lots of children playing. So he stopped for a moment just to stand there and watch them and enjoy the children. While standing there, he looked around and saw this one little boy sitting by himself. He looked like he might have hurt himself, so the old man thought he'd go over to see if he'd give the kid a hand, you know? So he walked over and he said to the little boy, "Well, hello there, son. Why are you sitting here all by yourself? Why aren't you playing with other children? They're having so much fun. Did you hurt yourself? Can I help you?" And the little boy looked up at him and said, "I'm all right, sir. I'm just sitting here resting for a minute because I'm tired myself. Because me and my friends, we come out every day and do the same old thing, you know? Shoot marbles, play all that kid stuff. And I'm tired of that. I want to be like my big brother, you know what I mean?" And the old man said, "No, son, what are you talking about?" He said, "Well, see, mister, my big brother's cool. He drives them big fine cars, keep pockets full of money, got all the girlfriends he wants. But every time I start talking about it at home, my folks tell me to hush up because I don't know what I'm talking about. Because I'm too young and I got to grow up first. So I feel like if I keep playing these kid games, I ain't gonna never grow up, mister." And the old man said, "Well, son, you know, you got your whole life before you. Don't be in such a hurry to get old. You're gonna be old soon enough." He said, "Listen, let me tell you a story. Perhaps you'll understand what I mean a little bit better." So the little boy said to him, "Well, that's all right, sir. If it'll make you feel any better to get it off your chest, you can go right ahead. But personally, I don't want to hear it, you understand? I want to grow up. Can't you understand that?" The old man said, "Son, let me tell you something." He said, "What?" He said, "When I was 17, it was a very good year. A very good year for small town girls and soft summer nights. We would hide from the lights on the village green. That's when I was 17. When I was 17. When that old man was 21. It was a very good year. A very good year for big city girls who lived up the stairs with all of that perfumed hair. Sometimes it came undone. That's when it was 21. When that old man was 21. They were some very good years, yeah. Was a very good year. A very good year for blue-blooded girls of independent means. And they would ride in limousines. The chauffeurs would drive when he was 35. When he was 35. But now those days grow short. He's in the autumn of the years. Now he thinks of his life as vintage wine from fine old kegs. From the brim to the dregs, it poured sweet and clear. It was a very good year. It was a very good year. It poured sweet and clear. It was a very good year. It was a very good year. They were very good. Very good. As the old man walked away from the little boy, he said, "I'm gonna see you later, son. Now you take it easy here." The little boy said, "All right, Pop." So as he eased on down the way, there were these two fellows that were sitting not far from where he had been talking to the kid. One of them happened to look up and see the old man as he passed, you know. So he hit his buddy and said, "Hey, my man, check. There's old folks. Old Charlie. That old dude's back on the scene again, ain't he? Looking good like he should, though. Still taking care of his business every day, too. That old cat's growing old gracefully. That's what's happening, ain't it, man?" His partner said, "Yeah, man. So you know what somebody laid on me the other day?" He said, "What?" He said, "Everyone knows him as old folks. Like the seasons, he comes and he goes, free as a bird, and as good as his word. That's why we all love him so. He's always leaving his spoon in his coffee and he tucks his napkin up under his chin. He's got an old corncob pipe. It's mellow and ripe. No, you needn't be ashamed of him. Now every Friday he goes fishing somewhere down by the lake. Oh, but he can only catch a perch or two. A great big whale got away. Oh, the stories he would tell. Well, someday there won't be no more old folks. And what a lonesome old town this is gonna be. And the children's voices that play, they will be silent for one day. And that will be the day they will take hold. They're gonna take old folks away. Thank you. Listen, I want to remind you that your host next week will be the great Ray Charles, okay? And joining Ray will be Carol Burnett, Earl Scruggs in the Review, and the Raspberries. And you ready? The Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin. How do you do? Brewer, listen, Brewer and Shipley? You hip to Brewer and Shipley? Yeah, two heavy dudes. They write and sing a lot of folk music, good music too, This next song was a favorite of mine. In a midnight special welcome, we'd like to ask you to give to Brewer and Shipley. How do you do? And now one more time, the committee.
Mary, send in Officer Miller, please. Oh, that's okay, Miller. A good cop like you doesn't always have to salute.
Thank you, sir.
Have a seat.
Thank you, sir. I'd rather stand, if it's all the same to you, sir.
Whatever you like, Miller.
Yes, sir.
Miller, the mayor's been on my back all morning about you.
I'm sorry to hear that, sir.
Well, so was I. I got a couple of questions I'd like to ask you.
I'd like to answer him, sir.
Miller, how come you shot 18 people in the last 3 weeks?
I don't know, sir. Just lucky, I guess.
No, that's not what I meant.
No, sir. I mean, I was lucky to be in the right place at the right time, sir.
18 times in 3 weeks?
Yes, I've never done so well.
Well, maybe if we get down to some specifics, you know?
Yes, sir.
You can clarify a few points for me?
Yes, sir.
Here's one here. This little old lady was walking a dog on Main Street, and you shot her?
Yes, sir.
What for, Miller?
I first noticed the suspect jaywalking across Main Street. I called upon her to halt. She failed to do so, so I fired a warning shot through her liver.
Miller, jaywalking is not a capital offense.
Disobeying an officer is, sir.
Right? You got the law on your side there.
Yes, sir.
Why'd you shoot her dog?
Rabies, sir.
Rabies?
Yes, sir. It's one of these neurotic lap dogs. Its leash was trapped underneath the suspect. I thought it might bite a kid.
Public health.
Yes, sir.
No doubt about it.
Yes, sir.
The mayor will be glad to hear that.
Yes, sir.
Miller, do you remember last Thursday?
Thursday, sir?
Yeah, that was one of your double-headed days.
Oh, yes, sir.
You got a call that there was a robbery in progress in a Chinese grocery.
Mm-hmm.
You went to the store, and you shot the owner dead.
Yes, sir.
Why, Miller?
Well, sir, the call was robbery in progress. I went into the store and saw this Chinaman with his fist in the till, so I plugged him.
Miller, didn't it occur to you that a Chinese man behind the counter of a Chinese store is probably the owner?
I couldn't take that chance, Commissioner. They all look alike.
I'll go along with that.
Yes, sir.
Do you remember yesterday morning?
Yes, I do, sir.
You shot your partner.
Yes, sir, I did, sir.
Why?
Well, he was in my parking spot, sir. I've worried about it a good deal since then, sir. I think I may have made a mistake there.
Mistake?
Yes, sir.
That's what I wanted to hear, Miller. I mean, after all, you're just a cop. You're only human. You ain't superhuman.
That's true, sir.
You can make mistakes.
Yes, sir. I like to think of myself as just an ordinary man with a gun.
Exactly. Nevertheless, Miller, I'm gonna have to ask you to hand in your badge. You know, I mean, just till this thing blows over. You understand, don't you?
You're putting me on suspension, sir?
Well, just till this thing blows over, Miller. After all, it was the mayor's idea, Miller.
The mayor?
Yeah. Just down the hall. Second door on the left.
Before y'all get into the next number, you know what I mean? Before I introduce your next hit, I want to learn how to do one of those dance routines, because I always wanted to be a group singer, you know what I mean?
You want to do some stepping, you mean?
Yeah, I want to step. You know what I'm talking about?
Let's get you together.
All right. I have to get the whole atmosphere right. Oh, I got to take. Oh, solid. Mellow. Wait a minute, I'm caught in my ring. Oh, hey.
Is that a nice fit?
You need another singer in the group?
I think it's truly wonderful.
Do you think another singer in the group? Need another singer?
Just one more. We gotta see how you do.
Okay, come on.
Count it off.
What am I gonna do?
Here we go.
Here we go.
Now, the first step will be, like 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Now, when we holler, hit it. Your next move will be like.
Next step.
All right.
You ready to go? You didn't need none that time? Listen, folks, how about the OJs doing their next hit for you? Love Train. You ready for the ride?
All the world, join hands, start a love train, people all over the world, ride, join hands, ride on, start a love train, the next stop that we make will be England. Tell all the folks in Russia and China too, yeah, now. Don't you know that it's time to get on board and let this train keep on riding on through. Well, people all over the world, we don't need no money cry. Don't need no ticket. People all over the world, ride this train, love train. All of your brothers over in Africa. Tell all the folks in Egypt and Israel too. Yeah, now. Don't you miss this train at the station. 'Cause if you miss it, I feel sorry for you. Well, people all over the world, sisters and brothers, come now. Ride this train, love train, come on, people all over the world, ride this train, come right on, love train, let it ride, let it ride, let it ride, let it ride, get on board, people all over the world, ride, join hands, ride on, start a love train, people all over the world, ride, join hands, ride on, start a love train, people all over the world, ride, join hands, ride on, start a love train, going over to India, come on right now, we gonna ride this train, y'all, going all around the world, making love around the world, come ride right now, train, you got to feel the train, all over the world, y'all, join hands, come ride, start a love train, hear the train, people all over the world, ride, join hands, ride, start a love, hey, ride, join hands, ride, start a love train, people all over the world, ride, join hands, ride, start a love train, ride, join hands, ride, start a love train, ride on, yeah, ride on, start a love train,
Listen, news gonna be right back with Eric Weissberg and Deliverance, the Grassroots, Brewer and Shipley, and more right after this station break. Let the Midnight Special shine its ever-loving light on you. Really can't wait to introduce this next gentleman. Wait, hold on, dear. He's coming. I think everyone here has heard the name George Burns. Right on? Wait a minute. Please, let me welcome him properly, and I want to really see you get it on for George. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. George Burns.
Thank you. Let me tell you something. Wolfman Jack is a great name because in show business, when you got that kind of a name, it's something you can grab a hold of. You know, I got a friend that's got a name like that, Benny Jack.
How come a record company released this album with you at this particular time in your life?
Well, this album came out 4 years ago, and it didn't make it.
It was a stiff 4 years ago?
It was a stiff 4 years ago, and now it's making it. They told me that I was ahead of my time. And if there's anything I don't want to be at my age, is ahead of my time.
How would you compare the youth of today to your generation?
I say get rid of them. They're too good.
Huh?
They're too much. The youth today are great. They're just great. You know, when I was in show business, I did all kinds of acts. But today, for instance, Bobby Darin. I started Bobby Darin. He was about 20 years old. He came into my office, and he says, Mr. Burns, he says, my name is Bobby Darin. He says, and understand that you're playing Las Vegas. He says, I'd like to be on your show. I says, let me hear you sing. Are you a singer? He says, yes. I says, sing me a song. He sang a song, and I took him. And he made Mac the Knife. And that one record made him a star overnight. I sent for him 6 months later.
Hey, for George Burns.
Anyway, I sent for him 6 months later. And I said, Bobby, how about Vegas again? He says, let me hear you sing a song. I sang a song, and he took me. That's what one record will do.
Hey, listen. On the album, you have a song called Mr. Bojangles.
And I love it.
And you do it so well. Will you do it for us tonight?
You betcha.
Everybody, George.
I know a man, Bojangles, and he danced for you in worn-out shoes, with silver hair and raggy shirt and baggy pants. The old soft shoe. He jumped so high, then he'd lightly touch down. Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles, dance. I met him in a cell in New Orleans. I was down and out. He looked to me to be the eyes of age as he spoke right out. He talked of life. Then he laughed and slapped his leg a step. He said the name Bojangles, then he danced a lick across the cell. He grabbed his pants, a feather stand shoe, he jumped so high. He clicked his heels. He let go a laugh. It shook back his clothes all around. Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles, dance. He danced for those in minstrel shows and county fairs throughout the South. He spoke with tears of 15 years, how his dog and him traveled about. His dog up and died, yes, his dog up and died. After 20 years, he still grieves. He said, I dance now at every chance in honky-tonks for drinks and tips. But most of the time I spend behind these county bars, 'cause I drinks a bit. He shook his head, and as he shook his head, I heard someone ask, please. Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles,
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Now I'd like to bring back those three charming girls, the honeycomb. I'd like to sing with those girls. They're beautiful singers, girls. How are you? Okay, now let's do something together. Okay. Something pretty, but it's got to be in my key. Let me pick the song.
He wants to sing.
I want to sing. Let me pick the song. Now.
You made me love you, I didn't want to do it.
I didn't want to do it, didn't want to do it, didn't want to do it, didn't
You
want to do it.
made me want you, and all the time you knew it.
All the time you knew it, all the time you knew it, all the time you knew it.
You made me happy, sometimes you made me sad. And there were times, dear, you made me feel so glad.
So glad.
That's pretty.
So glad.
So glad.
You made me cry for so glad.
So glad.
You made me cry for, and I didn't want to tell you.
Didn't want to tell you.
Didn't want to do it.
Didn't want to do it.
Tell you.
Tell you.
Do it.
Do it.
So glad.
So glad.
I want your love, that's true. Yes, I do. Indeed, I do. You know I do. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Give me.
Give me what I died for. You know you got the kind of kisses that I died for. You made me love you.
You didn't want to do it, but you did.
Earlier we heard Midnight Confessions, which was a big hit song for the grassroots. Now, they're gonna lay their new sound on you. Love is what you make it.
Love is what you make it. You can't make or break it. So don't you run and hide. I said love is what you make it. And if you make it with me, make it all right. Hey, 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 lover, don't you run lover. Don't run to your mother. No reason to get uptight. I said love is what you make it. And if you make it with me, make it all right. You've been told
You know, you heard Eric Weissberg and Deliverance do their big instrumental hit, Dueling Banjos, right? Now they're here, and they're gonna do an old country tune. Wait a minute, I'm my own grandpa?
Oh, many years ago when I was 23, got married to a widow who was pretty as can be. This widow had a grown-up daughter with the hair of red. My father fell in love with her, and soon the pair were wed. This made my dad my son-in-law and changed my married life. My daughter was my mother, cause she was my father's wife. To complicate the matter, even though it brought me joy, I soon became the father of a bouncing baby boy. This little baby then became the brother-in-law to dad, and so became my uncle, though it made me rather sad. For if he was my uncle, then it also made him brother to the widow's grown-up daughter, who of course was my stepmother. Oh, I'm my own grandpa. I'm my own grandpa. It sounds foolish, I know, but it really is so. Yes, I'm my own grandpa. My father's wife and had a son who kept him on the run, and he became my brother cause he was my father's son. My wife is now my mother's mother, and it makes me blue, for now although she is my wife, she's my grandmother too. Now if my wife is my grandmother, then I'm her own grandchild, and every time I think of it, it nearly drives me wild. For now I have become the strangest face you ever saw. As husband to my grandmother, I am my own grandpa. Oh, I'm my own grandpa. I'm my own grandpa. It sounds foolish, I know, but it really is so. Yes, I'm my own grandpa.
I was born in a city they call the Windy City. Now, they called it the Windy City because of the hawk, the almighty hawk, Mr. Wind, boy, and he's mean in the wintertime, you know? I used to live on a street that was a dead-end street, see? And I lived right at the end of the block where there was nothing to stop the wind and the elements to keep them from blowing right into my house. I mean, really socking it to us in the wintertime. You see, in Chicago in the winter, when the boilers would burst and the heat was all gone, we would have to get fully dressed to go to bed if we didn't want to freeze in our sleep. I'd put on everything but my goulashes because they had buckles on them, and my grandmother didn't play that. My grandmother would say, boy, if you get in bed with them goulashes on, I'll try my best to kill you, fool. Are you crazy? But I was fortunate, because as soon as I was big enough to get myself a job, save me enough money to get a ticket to catch anything, I caught the first thing smoking and came west where I thought it was best. And I really felt that way, you know, until this past February, a couple of years ago. I woke up one morning about 6 o'clock in the morning, and my bed was doing the boogaloo, and there was no music playing in the room at all, y'all. They called it an earthquake, and it was far out, too. But afterwards, I tried to get some of my relatives and friends that I left in Chicago to come out west. And they said, no, thank you, baby. You got California to yourself, honey, and you can go back by yourself, because don't nobody want to go out there with you. So I told them, that's cool. You know? I said, but y'all got it. Because if the good Lord above keeps the thought of Chicago out of my mind, you can bet I'll keep my feet out of the city limits certain months of the year. I don't even want to change planes in Chicago certain months of the year for fear of being snowbound. That's a cold city. Let me tell you about it. They said this is a big rich town. I lived in the poorest part, and I was raised on a dead-end street in a city without a heart. Yes, I was. I had to learn to fight before I was 6. The only way that I could get along. But when you're raised on a dead-end street, you got to be tough and strong. Hey, all the guys I know are getting in trouble. That's how it's always been. When the odds are all against you, say when. I'm gonna get off of the dead-end street, and I'll never go back there to live again. Never. No, no, no. No, no, no. Hey, hey. Oh, yeah. Well, I said that I'm gonna push my way on out of here, even though I cannot say when. But I'm gonna get off of that dead-end street, and I'll never go back there to live again. Never, never. No, no, no. I'll never go back to live on the dead-end street no more. No, 'cause I'm gonna get me a job. We'd like to thank you, and I want to thank all the great people who appeared on my show this morning. I want to remind you that your host next week will be Ray Charles. Good morning. Hey, 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 hey.